Hello, friends. Salam, namaste. I hope you are doing great, wonderful. You are watching Facebook Live interview series, and this is your friend and host, Dr. Sanjay Kumar from the Pakistan. Like always, today we have a very wonderful and very knowledgeable personality. She is actually Pakistani born and she is doing a wonderful job. She has a businesswoman, she is a producer, she is an analytics. Moreover, she is a wonderful human being. Let's welcome her. Welcome, ma'am, to our show. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm fine. I'm fine by grace of Allah. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable time on such a short notice. I feel very honored, blessed, and privileged having you live and sharing a screen with you. So, thank you so much, ma'am.
No, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Believe me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before I go, ma'am, to our topic of today, I want to request to you that tell little bit more about yourself so that our viewers can become more familiar with you.
Little about myself. I think, as you have told, I am doing business these days, and I'm working as I'm trying to work. I would say as media entrepreneur, and I was an academician once upon a time. I was teaching at a university. Before that, I was working with a think tank, and my studies are of politics and security studies. But I have always been interested in learning and learning. I think if I call myself a student for life, that won't be wrong. But yes, one has to earn bread and butter, and there has to be some professional identity, there has to be some self-actualization, and for that socio-economic system I'm doing entrepreneur these days, entrepreneurship, and I'm working in media. But being in media, I think makes it gives me liberty to work in all fields I want. Like as a researcher, you are very curious about learning, because as a human, we are not only doctors or only teachers, we are coming across different people and profession. So I think media gives me a liberty. So I'm kind of a startup entrepreneur yet, but I'm loving what I'm doing. So this is who I am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing about yourself. And you are already doing wonderful and noble works for yourself, for the people. So thank you so much for and keep doing such work with same dignity and same courage. Thank you so much. Now we are going towards to our main topic, that is digital fatigue.
Yeah.
So starting with what does digital fatigue means? What is the digital fatigue?
Actually, when I have to understand something, I understand like because it's compound word. It has two words: the digital and the fatigue. So in order to understand what is digital fatigue, I think fatigue is something which tires your body and your mind down. And we usually relate ourselves to the fatigue which is physical. When we do physical work, then we feel fatigued. And this is all that is in our behavior, this is all that is in our society, and we acknowledge it, because once we acknowledge that someone is fatigued, only then we allow that person to have rest, be that from office or from some domestic thing or anything. So already there is another thing which is not registered in Pakistan, at least till lately it wasn't. And that is emotional fatigue. That sometimes some people living in families, for example, the eldest son, the only son, the eldest daughter, or the most obedient daughter-in-law, or the most obedient daughter, anyone, any person who is cool and calm and who starts giving emotional space to other people, people start demanding emotional space from that person so much that when that person reaches late 30s or 40s, that emotional fatigue person is carrying is equivalent to the people who are in their 60s or 70s maybe. So that is why sometimes people age more frequently, more early in their lives, than the other people. So fatigue is getting tired when you need rest from certain kind of mental or physical or emotional commitment. Digital fatigue is something which is caused by the use of digital media. Our on screen time, be that on tab or iPad or mobile or laptop or whatever, but this online time with digital things is something which fatigues us, and above all our eyes, because there are different researches which are available online, and one only needs to know how to search and where to search, because we only know that Google is the gateway. So Google can take you to millions of irrelevant things also. But yes, coming back to the point, digital fatigue is something, the fatigue which is physically, mentally, and now there is a research emotionally caused by more time with the digital things or gadgets.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for explaining the digital fatigue in a brilliant way and in an easy way so people like me can easily understand. So thank you so much. As you explained that digital fatigue is a combination of two words, digital and fatigue. So you, as you said that it is fatigueness or tiredness which impacted our physical health, mental health, as well as emotional health of the person by using excessive using of digital things like mobiles and other tablets and etc. So
Yes.
thank you so much, ma'am. Now uh, I want to learn more about this wonderful topic, and this is a unique topic that how digital fatigue impacted on our life, how it impacted on our health, whether it is physical, whether it's mental, or whether it is emotional. And can you please elaborate this?
Yes, thank you so much. See, first of all, um, you are a doctor, and I gather that you are a doctor of medicine.
Yes, I
Okay,
am done.
pardon my lack of knowledge, because these days I have so many friends who are, doctors of philosophy also, and of medicine. So see, human brain is something which is a very complicated kind of, God's, it's a miracle, and it keeps working even when we sleep. It keeps working, and it's the last organ of human body that dies. So this is a remarkable thing. The digital fatigue is something which needs to be acknowledged and understood and then taken care of, because now this is affecting our brains. So when we talk about first thing, our first concept was fatigue being a physical thing. So physically, digital things fatigue us. For example, you might have felt you are working from home. We all are working mostly in COVID. We are working from home, and what is happening that we were not ready. There were no SOPs. There were no standard operating procedures of working from home. So what happened with the start of digitalization? Venting, there was an explosion of online work all over the world. So what happened? Everyone was working with everyone. So there was no time limit. People were working. The real global connectivity happened now, the real sense. Before that, it was in patches, it was in pockets here and there. Some regions were more connected, some sectors of economy were more connected. But now there is an explosion, the new apps, the new websites. So what happened? First of all, our working hours stretched, because what we think, oh, it's only one message, it's only one email, it's only online. We are working from home. The concept that it is easy because we are working from home, no. You are working from home and you are multitasking, because if you are not in your official dress, your mind does not send your body a message to be in an official performance mode, because you were trained to be in that officially performing mode. And many a times you might have felt, we wake up in the morning in normal days, we wake up in the morning, we are not normal, we are fatigued, we are having fever, right? But when we go to office, we feel better, we feel refreshed, we take a cup of tea, and we are, good to work. So it happened with many people. Why? Because If you have a little bit of fever or work fatigue and you get up in the morning and you change your dress, number one, the psychological message goes here and the efficiency of your brain starts working, and it's psychologically proven. So reverse it. If you are on leave and you are at home, or God forbid, if anyone has gone through a surgery or any treatment and they are not feeling well, usually doctors ask them to change your dress, to take a shower, or to refresh yourself, apply some moisturizer, comb your hair. When you look better, you feel better. So what happened? We were in our sleeping dresses, we were in our casual dresses, we were cooking and we were working, we were sleeping and we were working, we are on laptop, so we are watching a movie, but meanwhile the window shows us that a message pops us from our boss. We have to respond the message because we are online, boss now has seen us. So digital fatigue has stretched our working hours. One cause. Second cause is because no matter how smart is the technology, there are very low wavelength waves which are electromagnetic and which you are absorbing. And when you are in front of a screen and you are connected with the internet, you are absorbing, your body, your muscles, everything is absorbing it. And after years and years of absorbing those ele- um, um, electromagnetic low wavelength vibes, what happens to you, the chemistry of your muscle and your brain and your eyes, it starts changing. A lot of money is invested by the telecom and the tech industries to not let research get published or get public. The research which is for such kind of counter effects of digitalization of life, because they have to sell their product, and well, now we need that. So our brain has a part which is called cerebral cortex. Most important thing, which as a mother is now an alarming thing for me, cerebral cortex is something which is related to your cognitive thinking. And let's make it simple for our viewers here, because everyone is not coming from the science background. Cognitive thinking is something which relates to your brain attention, your memory, because when you go through something in your life, when you observe or watch something, number one, you memorize. There is a storage in your brain. Number two, you analyze, you relate, you compare, and you learn, you keep learning. What digital fatigue does, if you spend more time with gadgets, what it does to your brain is very alarming for coming generations, because they are digital generation. We call them GZ, Generation Z. So what happens, their cerebral cortex gets affected. So their memory recall gets affected, their memory retrieve gets affected, their attention means they cannot pay attention to the details. They cannot logically relate the things as better or efficiently as they used to before the digitalization. And there are some studies which are conducted with control group studies. And if you allow me, I will explain. A control group study is where they gave one group time to spend with certain digital things, and one group was asked not to use those things in those days, and after that they were given some cognitive exercise, and the result was obvious, because digital fatigue tires your brain down. So when your brain is tired, it needs more sleep. Are we getting it? No. We actually are getting less sleep. Lifestyle is different now. So we have a cell phone. Even I happen to do that because I'm living in USA. I'm working with people from Pakistan and India and Sri Lanka and Australia and England. And what's happening? 5 hours difference. We and you have 9 hours difference, right? So I'm in the daytime, you are in the nighttime. You should have switched off your working hours 5 hours ago. But no, I'm in my working hour. You are off your working hour. So what happens? It gets tired. When it gets tired, what it does? It starts doing the routine thing. It stops reasoning. It stops using logic. So creativity of our kids and their brains is being affected. And for example, We are a generation, we the generation X, the ones who were born in 1970s and 1980s, we are the generation X, means the generation who were the last ones to use those traditional electronic means of media and the first ones to use mobile and computer and internet, right? We are the generation X. So we have, and I think we are the last generation who has seen both kinds of the lifestyles. So sometimes I miss for my son because we don't have antakshi anymore for kids. We don't have those kind of social physical sittings. Everything is virtual. Their school welcome is on because of COVID more so, but even before that, the kids were spending more time on their gadgets and less time in the playgrounds. And even when they were going in playgrounds, they had their gadgets with them, taking selfies. So this is the physical aspect, the physical fatigue, because you don't realize, but you are active more for more hours. Number two, uh, your brain gets affected, and we don't realize it yet because we are the generation who are using our creativity and all, and then they have given our kids apps. A 9 years old child can use that digital app in a much better way than you and me, but that child has not created that app. So what is happening? The creative population of the world is extremely reducing in number, and the users of those apps and those creative innovations or inventions are the people who are, expanding in their numbers. And if you allow me to extend it, so mental effect, social effect, then there is an emotional effect. You get away from your family. My child, because I have one child, in America we don't have much of a social circle. So just imagine when schools are closed and mother is working, even being in the single house, in the same house, how much time I'm spending with him, giving him a storybook or something. I can't spend 6 or 8 hours of human communication with him, right? So what has happened with millions and billions of the people of the world, their social communication has reduced. When social communication reduces and digital communication fills the vacuum, your child gets more familiar with the animated characters on screen. So my child is now giving me examples, telling me memes and jokes, nothing vulgar, nothing violent, nothing wrong. Because I was taking care of those things. Every mother tries, every father tries. But what happened that my child is no more relating to the things that we related in our childhood. We were relating to the cricketers, the sportsmen, the politicians, or even the movie stars. But we were relating our heroism to the real people from history, from religion. My child knows about them. He knows about Khadim. He knows about Martin Luther King Jr. But what happens? He does not consider that charisma. He does not feel that charisma. His charisma is the animated character. These adventures, these digital timings and animations, these have played something which we have not written on books yet with the brains of our kids, and I call it digital isolation. They have been isolated, and there are internet clinics in China who are dealing with these things. Pakistan is a country with 230 million people, 230 million people, and we have rampant usage of Facebook, and we need to understand. And I'll come to the solution if you have time. But another thing that I want to highlight, that is the digital fatigue, what it has done to us. This is something very delicate. We belong to the culture of South Asia. We belong to the culture where agrarian economy was there. So we always had food as compared to the other nations and societies. We always had food, simple, cooked, or anyways. But what has happened with us? There is a concept of flaunting yourself on social media. So if you're using digital your gadget and you're on a social media app, you get dissatisfied with the passage of time. No one would tell you. I have met people personally suffering, going through the hard times of lives, the couples who are fighting like cats. But when they show on social media, obviously they have to give their good face. So when you open Facebook and you open Instagram, everything is perfect, everything is absolute. No female is without a glass skin. And actually, me being a Generation X, being educated, doing an MPhil and all, at a point I lost confidence in my looks. Why? Because everyone I was looking at was so perfect. And can you imagine that despite being a professional, despite being dealing with emotional counseling, it's been only 1 year that a daughter of my friend introduced me to camera filter. And I was like, oh my God, that's why you don't. I said, girl, I was always surprised. Your pics are so perfect. But when I look at you in person, I'm like, oh, maybe she got some, imperfect skin now. So imperfection was beauty once. Then your tables. Every table is a royal table on Facebook. What if someone is eating dal and looking at biryani and kebab and so and so? Then every background is perfect. What if my house doesn't have those kind of wall hangings? So we do not acknowledge. We say, हमें कुछ नहीं होता. No, that doesn't. It does seep in. दबे पाँव आ जाता है. It sneaks in the sense of dissatisfaction when you keep looking at. Why? Because when you hook yourself to digital thing for hours and hours, your mind stops controlling your body and thoughts. Because your mind is some kind of machine. If you don't use it, it will stop working in that direction. If you don't use logic, your mind will stop using logic. So more you use it, the better it will perform, the better connectivity of the dots will happen. So the digital fatigue is psychological, it's emotional, it's social, it's physical, it's mental. And then what is acknowledged on paper in Pakistan by now is the digital fatigue of eyes. So there are hundreds of nerves of your eyes which are connecting to your brain and your facial muscles also, and to your ears, or so much. And eyes, obviously, just like any other organ of a body, are a blessing. And a lot of independence of human mobility, actually all of independence of human mobility depends on eyes, like you can see and go. So your eyes, the shape is changing. The diseases of eyes are being reported more. And then the circles in very young children, you are looking at the eye bags and the circles, and the eyes looking right or left, and there are little kids with the glasses of number 1 to 4, and that is too much, because there was a time people used to go in their 40s and then have glasses of 0.5 or some number. So digital fatigue is very real. And I would humbly suggest anyone who is watching it, and I am trying it at my own, that is that please, let's make hours to use digital media. For example, when I have recently started doing it, now that I'm in my official hours, I will not pick any personal message till 5 p.m. If I'm using social media, so I'm going on those apps which are relevant to my, like I was exchanging text with you on Messenger. There was another lady and I had a meeting with her online. So when you are not online, just close it. So when you have a family time, don't open your official message. If this is your weekend, don't open your email. Just have an alert for notification. If you have a very important, urgent kind of notification of some email, go to that one email, respond it and come back. Tell everyone that you work from 9 to 5. It's not about you that you are a macho man or woman and you will do something. No, this is about your body. Your body needs rest, and your body, and there's another thing. Some people switch off their digital gadgets and go on a retreat, on a respite for a weekend. No, it doesn't work that way. Your body is naturally created to work in a clock of 24 hours. So your food, your sleep, everything has to be managed in 24 hours. That is why it's difficult for the health of the people in the Norway or in the Scandinavian countries where days are longer and the nights are longer, because then and even then they are running around 24 hours clock. So I think, and there is only one WhatsApp group in which the admin closes messages from all members at 10 p.m. because everyone has a personal time. I don't want my phone, beeping, 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 and nagging me all the time. I want it to go silent when I'm with my son, I'm telling him a story, or I'm offering my prayer, or I'm in a yoga class, or I'm meditating. So, number one, there have to be hours. Divide your social media in your family, office, entertainment, and divide those hours as these hours were before these digital times, before these COVID times. And lastly, I think this is also very important that we should learn how to use social media. There are so many people irritating you and I would say nagging you and disturbing you, and maybe they don't even bother knowing your name. They just look at your DP or your post and they just come or do something that causes fatigue. For example, I'm very peaceful, I'm having a cup of tea, and someone sends me a violent message. I'm a human being eventually, and my brain is created naturally. It is manufactured in a way that it has to receive sensors. So its sensorial capacity is not in my hands. If I say, oh no, that person abused me, that person trolled me, it's not going to affect me. No, it does affect you. It cannot get vented out of your behavior today, but tomorrow or in your sleep or sometime. So detox your body, detox your phone, detox your brain every 24 hours. And how you're gonna do it? I do meditation for that. Some people drink water or whatever, but I do meditation for that. And my son and everyone knows it's like for 20 minutes in the morning, 20 in the evening. It's AM and PM. And that's nothing difficult. And I think you might have done, and because you're a doctor. It's just closing your eyes and keeping silent and just just being at peace, thinking nothing for 20 minutes, simple, blank, plain. So give yourself a respite. So thanks for your patience. I spoke a lot.
Thank you so much. You explained each and everything. The way you explained, I think that's really amazing. So thank you so much, ma'am. You explained in very simple language, so each and every one can easily understand that how
Absolutely.
digital fatigue, how social media platform, yeah, how our digital gadgets affects on our brain. You have also explained scientifically how they affect on our cognitive thinking and so on. You also shared, explained that how they affect on our mind, on our eyes, on our thinking, even on our emotions, how they impact on our mental health, and so on. And in the end, you also shared your opinion that we should make hours for using the digital media, for using the social media platform, and we should know how to use the social media. So thank you so much for explaining in very simple and detailed manner. Thank you so much. So each and everyone easily understand, those who are live at this time, those who will watch after this, they can understand that what is digital fatigue, what are their impact on physical, social, emotional, and mental health of a human beings. So thank you so much, ma'am. As I promise you, promise with you that I will not take more than 30 minutes. That's why
Thank you so much.
I am ending this show right here. So I once again thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time, for explaining each and everything for teaching us about the digital fatigue. So once again, I am very much privileged and thanking you for enlightening me
Thank you
and
so
my
much. Thank you so much. It's
viewers.
always a pleasure. Anytime. Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you so much. Viewers, this is
Bye.
all for today about digital fatigue. In next live show, we came with another great personality. We'll learn new things. Till then, stay happy, stay blessed. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum and namaskar, everyone. Thank you so much.